Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking you, in my opinion, the 5 best players in this recent prospect tournament. It won't necessarily be who had the most points or who did the most this or that. It'll pretty much be who I thought stood out the most and who did their jobs the best. So pretty simple, right? Let's get started right away with number 5. And in my opinion, number 5 is going to go to Jan Mysch. He was one of the older players at this camp and one of the leaders in the room. But he really stood out to me. He's always been a very solid guy in his own end, really good two-way player, but he even potted a couple of goals in the tournament. Now, Jan Mysch is not the flashiest prospect in our system, that is for sure. But, he plays with a ton of heart. And I know this isn't a Pee-wee team. It's not always about how much heart you put in. But, you got to give it to this guy. He always puts 100% in, and he got rewarded for it in this tournament. Alright, now that does it for player number 5. Now, the player who I think was the 4th best in the Habs has to be Riley Kidney. I think every single video that I've mentioned him, I've said that he's a pretty underrated player, and it's been shown once again. A lot of people don't think about him much, but he's always making sneaky good plays, and we saw that yesterday against the Ottawa Senators. He got rewarded for his hard work and got a nice goal, but during the whole game, he was always very noticeable and for sure just one of the standouts in this tournament. It seems like Kidney's probably destined to go to Trois-Rivières this year, which is unfortunate. It's not the worst place to go, but I really wish he could make it to the Laval Rockets. Who knows? We'll have to see where that goes. So with the first 2 done, we are into the top 3. And 3rd place is going to have to go to Joshua Roy. Now, I know, game number 1 against the Buffalo Sabres, he wasn't very noticeable, he didn't have the best game, but you could say that about pretty much the whole team. After that, he quickly bounced back, and he was making good plays every single shift. Not always flashy plays, but always the right play. Lifting the stick at the right time, inserting yourself into the play at the perfect time. He does the little things perfectly, and he got rewarded with 2 nice goals this tournament. At the beginning of the tournament, I said that Joshua Roy was probably 1 out of 3 possible forwards that had a realistic chance at making the Habs roster this year. The other 2 were Owen Beck and Emil Heineman, and in my opinion, Joshua Roy was just our best forward in this tournament. So Joshua Roy, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you got a pretty good shot at maybe cracking that roster. So that does it for number 3, moving into the 2nd best player of the tournament, and I don't think you guys are going to expect this from me, but it is Miguel Turini. Wow, did he ever surprise me? He's not been a prospect that I've been following at all because there's been just so many exciting prospects, right? But he's a very sneaky one, and he's been one of our best players throughout this tournament. For his size, he is super confident when carrying the puck, very good at skating, and he's not afraid to throw a check. It's almost unfair that he's a little on the shorter side, because if this guy was 6'3", call me crazy, but he'd probably be in the NHL right now with the Habs. So yeah, anyways, Miguel Turini, fantastic tournament for him, real good standout, and I can't wait to see how he progresses with his development. And now it is time for the number 1 player of this tournament, and I think you guys all know who it is. Yes, I have William Trudeau as our number 1 player for the tournament. I don't think that this comes to a surprise, unless I'm mistaken, but to me, William Trudeau was the best player. He was amazing defensively, pretty solid offensively too, and he just looked like he made a real big step in his development out of nowhere. He went from just a Laval Rocket prospect, someone who, maybe would be a call-up here and there, to, in my opinion, one of our better defensive prospects. And, he might be in the NHL way sooner than you think. He has got all the tools to make the NHL one day, and he's been putting them together, and he's turning out to be one hell of a D-man. Without a doubt, the player that surprised me the most was William Trudeau. Wasn't expecting it, but this guy had a very good camp, and I think a lot of eyes are on him right now. I can't wait to see what he does with the Laval Rocket this year. I'm sure he's going to get even more minutes, and I can bet you as soon as some players get injured, this guy's going to get called up and get some real time with the Habs. Anyways, guys, that is going to be all for today's video. Those are my top 5 players for this weekend's Prospect Challenge. If you did enjoy today's video, don't be afraid to hit that like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Now, with that being said, I'll see you all next time. Take care.